Welcome back to YCS. We're about to go into the top eight. Let's take a look at the brackets. Bracket.
If we can get the brackets up there, it'd be really nice. So there we are. So we obviously see Jesse Cotton on the most recent feature match winning versus Liam De Bono, who we interviewed just before, playing Sky Striker. And then the match we're actually featuring this round, Lincoln Johnston from Queensland versus Peter Mitro.
He's from
Sydney.
Yep.
Very interesting matchup coming up. We'll talk about that in a second. We have Chris Matisky, recently back playing again, hasn't played much recently, and just decided to come to the YCS. Now he's in the quarterfinals against Bowden Temnik. And then we have Onur Giza, who we had on feature earlier in day one, playing his Altergeist against Koji, who we had on feature, I think, today, playing Burning Abyss.
Very, very diverse. We have 3 players from Sydney, 1 from Canada, 2 from Melbourne, 1 from Adelaide, and 1 from Brisbane.
Queensland looking good still.
Looks
Come
like
on, guys.
Home ground advantage might not be able to take you there, but we can hope. Go Sydney.
So the matchup we do have is Altergeist versus Sky Striker, 2 of the decks that we expected to see in the top cut. I don't think we've seen the matchup yet on the feature match.
I
don't think we have. I think it's somehow we didn't have it until now, but obviously in the pointy end with all these decks being played,
Yep.
They're obviously going to verse each other. So I think in the breakdown we have like 1 Burning Abyss, 3 Altergeist, 2 Sky Striker, and 2 Thunder Dragon combo deck with the dangers in it.
Yeah, looking over Peter's deck, he's got the standard monster lineup: 3 Melistic, 3 Marionetta, 3 Faker, 2 Sequidus, and 1 Conqueri. I noticed he's not playing any hand traps in the main. Spells, he's playing more spells than the other Altergeist we've seen. He's got 2 Desires, 2 Dualities, and Sacred Village of the Spellcasters at 3. And he's playing a really heavy trap lineup with 2 Protocols, 1 Manifestation, 3 Spoofing. He's got all 5 Solemns, 3 Strikes, 1 Judgment, and 1 Warning. He's got 3 Metaverse and 3 Trap Trick. I think he really wants to get to that Secret Village to lock players out of using spells. He's a 3 Heavy Storm Duster and 1 Imperial Order.
The very interesting thing there is that not only is he not playing any hand traps, he's not even playing Impermanence, which is a card that's very powerful in the Altergeist deck.
Yeah, it's crazy. He does have them in the side. His side has 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Impermanence, 3 Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, 3 Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, and 3 White Taps. So he has 12 hand traps in the side deck.
So I think he just hopes to win the dice roll game 1, and if he doesn't, he goes to game 2 against certain decks.
Yep.
But yeah, hopefully we can go to the match now. We have Lincoln playing Sky Striker. Pretty standard list overall. He's actually main decking 3 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, which could come up in this matchup. We have a standard extra deck of 3 of all the Sky Striker cards. He's actually siding in his extra deck has the Predator Plant. I can't pronounce the last name, but it's the one you use for super polymerization.
Dragus Sapella?
Yes. We have like all the Nightmare package, a Borrowload and a Borrelsaw Dragon and a Topologic Bomber Dragon.
Lincoln rolls a 7. Peter rolls. He's given it a good shake.
He really wants that roll.
He really wants it. He rolled a 5, unfortunately.
So unfortunately, he's not going to be able to start things off. And with no hand traps, Lincoln's going to be free to do whatever he wants.
I think Altergeist are actually fine going second as well. It's not as bad as what people make it out to be. They have a lot of traps. They can survive. They can do what they need. And like we said, with Sky Striker doesn't pose that much of a threat as well early mid-game.
And the other interesting thing in Lincoln's deck is main taking 3 copies of Mind Control. So definitely using that for certain matchups that he might be worried about, including Thunder Dragon, and could also come up to force or take Secloidus in this matchup.
Yes, definitely.
So we've seen Upside Goblin from Lincoln. He has Mind Control. He actually main decks 3 copies of Evenly Matched as well, which is actually in his hand. So maybe winning the dice roll wasn't the best thing for Lincoln there.
Oh, maybe, but he could also not reveal this until it's necessary. Maybe it's a comeback play, right? Like
especially in this matchup, which will go for a while because there's well, neither deck can really OTK of their normal combo of the deck.
Look at Lincoln. They're flying through his place. He's not wasting any time at all. He's using Ray straight away, summoning that Kagari.
I think he's used Area 0 to then chained Ray, so he'll be probably accessing more
multi-roll
off the top. This is a perfect start for Lincoln.
This is what we want to see.
Exactly
this is
how Sky Strikers want to play.
Yeah, definitely.
So he's going to add that engage back to hand. He's got 2 spells engraved. If he can manage to get another one, he'll probably set the Mind Control, since it's not very useful right now, and then send it with his multi-roll, which I think he's doing now.
And Lincoln is playing 41 cards in his main. Peter's played 40. What I find interesting is that both players have played relatively standard decks. They just want to play something streamlined, something that can just get there. They're not trying to play anything cute in particular. Peter does have some deviation, but in the end, he just wants to play what's known and what's good and what's like everyone knows will get you there eventually.
So Lincoln being able to draw a card on the first turn here off engage is very, very powerful. And he draws into is that Monster Reborn? Or Rhoda? Reinforcement of the Army. I was going to say, I don't think he's playing Monster Reborn. I really hope he didn't draw it. We've seen that being top decked many times
Yeah.
over the feature match over the weekend. So having a Ray for next turn now, if anything does happen to his Kigari.
Mm.
Got Eagle Booster off the search. He's going to link the Kigari away for a Shizuku, which will give him another add in the end phase.
And he's just absolutely flying through his plays. I haven't seen plays this far since I was in Milan and I saw Jay Quincy play against the clock, and he just flying through his Dark Warrior combos.
You know exactly how to do that.
Yeah, you just need people who like know the ins and outs of their decks, and they just fly through them.
So linking using the multi-roll to set the engage before activating the Shizuku effect to get another engage for next turn.
Got the double engage play.
So Peter here, he actually has duality in hand, I believe.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which he's leading with now.
That whole turn took less than 3 minutes.
So Lincoln really knows how to play around time.
Yeah.
So adding the spoofing off the duality, a good choice. Card very powerful in this match in the Altergeist deck.
Yeah.
Interesting sleeves there from Peter as well.
I think they're promotional slaves.
So I see a Secloidus in hand, also the protocol that he just added. Is that a Heavy Storm Duster, potentially?
Could be. I see a protocol, I see a Sequoidus, not...
I think it's actually a Metaverse, which even now, even though he didn't get to go first, even getting Secret Village's Spellcasters live in the middle of the match against Skystriker can still be very powerful and able to stop all of their plays.
Peter choosing his zones very carefully, trying to play around possible infinite impermanence is a card that we know is being played. Every card is trying to...
So he has... Oh, he actually opened double Secloidus. It's definitely not optimal for Altergeist, but that's why he obviously got spoofing off a duality, so he'll be able to do it. But here we go, the Metaverse coming down.
Does Lincoln have a response to this? Does Lincoln play any spell and trap removal in the main deck?
Have a look now. I believe the evenly matched is the main force.
But with that field spell not going away anytime soon, I don't think he's going to be able to clear it. He's like...
Can he use multi-rolls effect while Village is on the field? Or is it no effects?
He can use multi-roll while it's on the field, but then he'll need a way to get over the multi-roll.
I think the best way to do it is multi-roll to summon another monster, maybe Nightmare Phoenix.
Because
then even if he uses Protocol, the Secloidus will be off the field.
And again, we see this Skystriker opting not to play the topological Trisbina, which is a very flex option that they often use.
It's your favorite card and no one's playing it.
It's one of my favorite cards. It just does a lot of things I want. It banishes back row. It just like clears monsters as well.
Interesting to see where Lincoln goes from here, because he has a Ray in grave, one in hand, and he can also summon one off Area 0 if he chooses to. I'm pretty sure that he can use the effects of the face-up spells that are already on the field.
Yes, he can do that.
I'm sure that's fine. He's just probably thinking it through, make sure, since he already saved a lot of time by going through his plays so quickly on turn 1. So he's giving himself as much opportunity now to resolve effects. But I think Peter's now activating spoofing to put back that second Secloidus. So now Lincoln knows that he opened 2 Secloidus.
It's good to know that Lincoln did draw infinite impermanence for turn.
Yes.
If he had that last turn and he was able to impermanence to negate the Metaverse, it would have been wild. But Peter did show that he knew what he was doing by placing his cards in zones that were not in the same column as Lincoln's card, so that they wouldn't get hit by infinite impermanence.
Interesting to see where Peter goes from here. As he's already got the Secloidus on the field, it might be worth him summoning maybe a Meliseek or the Konkori. He's looking at now.
He's able to negate a card as well.
If it negates a card, can it attack? Or is it only it negates attacks in the hand effect?
It can negate an attack, but on special summon, it can target a card and negate it while Conqueror's face up on the field, and Silcoidus can just bounce it to hand and be able to negate an attack. Perfectly executed by Peter.
So I think he's going to use Secloidus here to possibly put the Area 0 back in the hand, or maybe the multi-roll. So he's identified the play that Lincoln can make to out this.
Yep.
He just didn't know which one he wanted to get rid of.
He just does not want Lincoln to get to more cards.
He doesn't know that Lincoln also has a Ray in hand already, unless he does. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I think he drew the Ray. But
Again,
even if he tries to make the Phoenix, the protocol will be able to negate the effect.
Again, what we said earlier, when if Lincoln does end up clearing his own field to be able to use that evenly match, Peter can just activate a trap card and use a multi-faker from the hand at a later point, and then he still wouldn't be at no cards. He could keep the Secret Village and summon a multi-faker.
Very true. So Lincoln understanding the situation, he's now not using Kigari's effect because of protocol. Instead, he's setting a spell.
He doesn't know there's a protocol, though. He saw the spoofing, he hasn't seen the protocol yet.
That's true. He's potentially just playing around it and maybe just trying not to overcommit in case it does have the protocol. So the Shizuku activating the end phase. Peter's thinking if he wants to respond.
Yeah, he's allowing it. I think that was a that can go.
Interesting what Lincoln goes here because he can potentially add another copy of Engage because he's still got one set from multi-roll and one in hand.
Yep. There we go. Getting another Engage.
Interesting that Lincoln didn't opt to set the Area 0 and then multi-roll send it to the graveyard to get a Ray out of the deck that way to be able to make Nightmare Phoenix.
Yeah.
But maybe probably waiting because he knows that he can wait, and then next turn using the impermanence to negate Secloidus, so there's no interruption in that play.
Yeah, but he didn't line it up with other set card, which might just be a protocol.
Well, either way, it's another set card he could have
Is
negated.
it an oversight, or did you assume that's not a protocol?
Maybe he just wanted to not let Peter think it was an impermanence, so he's not playing around it.
Peter just normal summon a melee seek that's able to clear the board. Or
He's going for a link play, so this is possibly a Hextia coming up. Which it is, and then he'll get the Meliseek search as well. So both decks showing exactly how they're meant to be played and getting all their effects off now.
He's going for the multi-faker. He's going to use multi-faker this turn as well. He wants to get multi-faker every turn of the game.
Like we saw back in one of our more recent feature matches. So there's the protocol coming down. So the upside for Lincoln is here. If he does end up losing most of his field, he does have that evenly match, but unfortunately Hexia is now on the field to be able to negate that evenly match.
In the same vein, Peter might identify, evenly match is a card that people are playing. Maybe I'll just leave one card on the field so that I can't get evenly match. I think that might be his line of play.
I think it matters a lot how much he knows about his opponent's deck.
Yeah.
If he whether he knows Lincoln's playing it or not. So at this point of the competition, it's not ridiculous to think that they do.
Yeah. But at that point, do you think like one of those cards are like a threat? Do you just leave it on the field? Maybe like Peter has previously won a YCS in Sydney. He knows what he's doing, and he might see these lines.
So he's putting back the Shizuku to the extra deck. I don't know if Lincoln's activating Ray.
I believe that he sees a protocol. He does, and then the protocol distributes off the
so
Marinette.
they've just a verbal confirmation there. He must have just said he activated it, and the protocol negates.
Does Lincoln play Clara and Rushka, a card that people commonly use to be able to...
Unfortunately, he does not. He's opted to play 3 Link 4 monsters instead.
He's playing the Topological
The Topologic Bomber, the Boral Sword, and the Borreload Dragon, and he's chose to play the Predator Plant Fusion, which is for Super Polymerization, so opted away from Clara and Rushka.
Yeah, he also doesn't play the Titan in case his opponent summons 3, but I think he's accepted that if there's 3, he can just fusion 2 of them away and just Widow Anchor the 3rd or something.
The Manifestation coming down now for Peter after Lincoln drew a Hornet Drones for turn.
I think Peter's played more on each turn of the game than Lincoln has. He's played more on Lincoln's turn.
Yeah, Altergeist showing that even, like you said, even if they go second, they can still manage to put the ball down and do the same setup. And Secret Village being in his deck and obviously playing 3 of each.
I think he's playing a total of... He's playing 3 Village, 3 Metaverse, and 3 Trap Trick. He really wants to get to that field spell. He's playing 9 copies of it. He's got 2 Dualities and 2 Desires. I think he just wants to play against all Sky Strikers and just dominate that match.
He's definitely identified that this is the matchup that he wants to be versing and what he thought he'd be seeing at the event.
I think that's very good meta call.
Very hard for decks to come back from this situation against.
Yeah.
He's put the field spell face down.
Peter is definitely an accomplished player. He came second at Nationals last year and just missing off the win by 1 game. He also came top 4 at the Oceanic, missing Worlds by just 1 game. Maybe this is his comeback.
Or maybe it's happening again.
It's his redemption. He's hungry for that win. He wants to reclaim his YCS champion title. He wants another win for sure.
The first player in history to win our YCS a second time.
Yeah. I think that's the goal for everyone, right? To just win as many events as they can.
Well, 2 Hextia now hitting the field, one of them boosted by the other. Also has access to add the Manifestation back to the hand because of Secloidus. I think Lincoln's just letting him play out the turns now, and that is definitely game on board.
That is well over 4,900 damage. Lincoln thinking he might not need that extra time. He just wants to let it go all the way through, and then...
Maybe he's thinking that he has a better chance in time if it does come to that, with Hiate being in his extra deck. So that goes game 1 to Peter. Very well played, both players. Striker opening quite well, but obviously the Secret Village of the Spellcasters halting any follow-up plays the next turn.
Opening double Secloidus, but that does not matter at all.
The spoofing just fixed his whole hand. Got the multi-faker, resolved the multi-faker, and then from there it was all a matter of could Lincoln out this Secret Village.
So like we said, Peter's playing 12 hand traps in the side deck. I think he's identified that people side deck Red Reboot, they side deck Heavy Storm Duster, they side deck Twin Twister, all these cards, which will make his back row a lot weaker. So he's going to supplement all of them with hand traps, which cannot be stopped by aforementioned cards.
So interesting looking at Lincoln's side deck. He has 3 copies of Dino Wrestler Prank Tops. He has the Gamma Engine, which will be interesting. I don't think he'll need to bring that in this matchup. He's got 3 Core by the Grave, which there's arguments to play it to be able to negate things that Manifestation target and negate multiple effects of Fakers if there's one in the grave. Also has the other 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence because he only main decks the one, and we saw it. 2 copies of Typhoon, which would be good to out the Secret Village of the Spellcasters in this matchup. And obviously the Super Polymerization for the Predator Plant. So
I mean, he can side in Super Polymerization. Dragus Tapelia requires a fusion monster and a dark monster, so he can fusion. Wait, there is no fusion. Never mind. I thought Hexia was a fusion.
I'm not sure if that's happening.
For a second, I thought Hexia was a fusion monster.
Too many extra deck monsters we have these days.
Yep.
So even though Lincoln will probably choose to go first here, do you think it's worth him siding in the Dino Wrestler and the Typhoons?
I really like Dino Wrestler Prank Tops going first and second. Yeah, you have a lot of cards that you don't really want, and then you put those in.
Well,
They
he's
can,
looking at me, he's actually shuffling those exact 5 cards in his hand right now.
yeah. And Peter,
And the gammas he's thinking about as well, so that'd be interesting. I guess to negate a multi-faker in his opponent's turn. Even
Yes.
in his own turn.
yeah, true. So which of the 12 hand traps do you think Peter's likely to decide?
So if he's assuming he's going second, I think... Does he have a target for Reaper? I don't
No, he
believe
does
he does.
not,
So
but-
that will probably not come in. I would say that Ash Blossom would definitely come in to hit a naked engage that's not protected by a multi-roll.
I'm not entirely sure. I really don't like Ash Blossom against Sky Striker. They can just Kagari back the
It's true.
engage
It's true.
and then just play like nothing happened.
It's more to only stop them at turn 1, otherwise it's just not going to do anything. Ghost Bell can negate the Kagari from getting back the engage. That could be
Yeah.
worth it as well.
Yeah.
Probably not Wiretap, and probably not Infinite Impermanence could be good to set in the same zone as a multi-roll.
Yeah,
and
something like
potentially
that.
use it that way to be able to negate a Kagari and a multi-roll at the same time.
But again, like I said, Peter's built his deck to defeat Sky Striker already. I don't think he might even need a side that much.
He may not even side at all.
Yeah, maybe you just
There's nothing in his deck he would want to take out that he could maybe put something else in for. I think everything in his deck is perfectly lined up against this matchup.
maybe he just like played with the few cards in his extra in his main deck, made it look like he sided, makes Lincoln try to think about what he's siding, and then he's really not siding. He looks really confident. He's really like he's got his arms folded. He's like, oh yeah, I'm just waiting on you now. I've got my plan sorted, and
He's presenting strength to his
Yeah.
opponent. Is has to shuffle up under pressure now, and there's 25 minutes left on the clock. Lincoln down a game, playing against the matchup that is quite a grind, as we've seen
Yeah.
over the weekend. Both decks can grind really long.
I really
And-
like these cams. We can see their reactions. We can see their interactions with each other. Lincoln looking a little stressed, a little bit quiet. He's not. He's trying to keep calm and focused. And this state of origin, I believe, I am going for New South Wales once more.
Very biased, Yahweh, as always.
Uh,
But of course, I'll also be going for Queensland as well.
I,
It's the last Queenslander left. I need him to keep going.
got the home ground advantage, maybe. Peter's been able to sleep in his own bed.
Big talk.
Oh, I mean, like,
It does matter.
I
though,
feel like
think
if you're
about it.
sleeping in your own bed as opposed to like a hotel bed or something, then you do like, you know,
You're more comfortable. I
yeah.
feel, and
helps you get your good night's rest that we were talking about. In Peter's hand, we see Strike, Metaverse, Melusic, Spoofing, and Solemn Judgment. I think that is like one of the most ideal hands you want to see.
if he was going first, this game is over.
Yeah, but he's going second. I mean, a lot of things can happen. See
What
what's
does
in
Lincoln have? I see
Lincoln
the
has
prank
prank-
tops.
Engage, Ray, Foolish Burial Goods. Peter's going first again.
Interesting that Lincoln decided that, but
Wow.
obviously wanted to decide and make his deck as optimal as possible. But going first, as we said, Peter's hand is just amazing.
It's absurd. It's got it's just like the idea. You've got Judgment to stop any evenly matched Twin Twisters and stuff like that. You've got the Spoofing to be able to get any card you would need. You just have a lot of plays.
He's
He's
got
got
access to multifaker,
Metaverse.
he's got Metaverse. He's got Lincoln would have to draw it out to the Metaverse, and
He does have
with-
Pranker Tops.
But the Solemn Judgment is just it's
Oh, yeah.
so powerful.
Yeah, it really is. But maybe if he Solemn Judgment, he has to really think about that.
'Cause he has to Solemn Judgment the summon, otherwise he'll be able to just attack over the only spellcaster. So there's the Ash for the Metaverse.
There's the
So good top deck there by Lincoln. So the Judgment will either come down now. Also,
oh,
either way,
Solemn
Lincoln has
Judgment
the out.
can't negate the effect of Ash Blossom, right?
Strike instead.
Oh, he has the strike. He
I
that.
knew he had a Solemn that could negate.
Yep. Oh, this is not
That
looking
hurts a
good.
lot.
He is
What
going
is
to
it? So
pick
he's going to resolve the Metaverse.
Secret Village of the Spellcasters coming out.
But he still doesn't have a spellcaster yet, but he can now activate the multi-faker in a new chain link.
Yes.
A very good opening from Mitro.
And yeah, I think he got really lucky. He opened a going first hand, going first, and he was allowed to go first.
I think he knew he was going to be going first.
I don't know. I think his deck would have been the same. Like we said, he didn't have many side deck options that he would like. I think his main deck was already fine. Lincoln might have shot himself in the foot.
No way of knowing what his
Yeah.
opponent was going to draw, but
Definitely not. He's
the
the
Frank
Silk-
Tops, the Ray, it's still not impossible, but he doesn't know the Solemn Judgment's sitting there waiting for him.
He's got the Silkoidus, which is able to return multi-faker to the hand, but he won't ever play next turn. But fortunately, he has a Spoofing to be able to get to another Marionetta or a
So-
Meluseek.
Does he summon the Ray here? Or he's gone the Prank Tops first.
Oh, Peter's going to have a really good think of it.
He's going to have
he-
to.
is
He,
he
has to he has to stop the summon, because otherwise he'll just attack over the Secloidus. But Solemn Judgment comes down, but these are a lot of life points for Peter to be taking right now.
He didn't have to think very much. He's down to 32.50 after just 2 cards. But not only that, I think he's accepted that the 47.50 life points he's paid is worth more than the cards that he's had to stop.
Lincoln just making hand gestures there.
I think
Probably just explaining how did you open Metaverse, Judgment, Strike, and Multi-Faker.
oh yeah, some like in the words of Burden, like sometimes it just works out for me.
Sometimes it's just perfect.
Oh,
Sometimes you lose. don't get to choose where you're going first or second, and you get forced to go first without knowing who's open. Insane. So there's talking about now, maybe Link is just trying to figure out the best line of play. Because if he attacks the Secloidus, the Link Reaver will likely make the Ray go to 0.
And then Ray will be able to use its effect to summon out like a Hayate or a Kagari.
In which case, the Secloidus could probably return it back to the extra deck, and he won't be able to trigger the Ray.
There are no spell cards in his graveyard, so Kagari can't even attack. Like, they can't even attack over the Silcoidus. He has to attack the Multi-Faker. Or the Link Rebo.
It has to be the Karibo.
Peter having a really good think.
He's probably going to try and force the Ray, because I think he has a protocol set.
I think he's already telegraphed that he does not indeed have the Clara Rush here either. Otherwise, he would have just gone for
Maybe
it.
that's what Peter's thinking about now. He doesn't want him to get to it and have a quick play spell.
Yeah, but then would you just bounce a Clara Rush here? Oh, but then you get Widow
Quick
Anchor.
play spell, yeah. So he's doing it now, so he's forcing the Ray effect.
Yeah, he's forcing the Rays.
So it's unfortunate for Peter that he doesn't know that he doesn't play Clara, but it's definitely correct to play around it.
Oh, there's a line where Lincoln can just, because Altergeist find it hard to fit in damage here and there, Lincoln can just keep summoning Hayate every turn and attacking directly 1500.
And he's only on 3250.
Yeah, so 2 attacks, and then he'll be at 250. He won't be able to use any, like, even just one, 2 attacks, he won't be able to use any solemn effects. He'll just be, like, 1 attack away.
So he's using the Karibo to make Hayate not do any damage.
But
But since it's still battled, it's still able to use its effect.
I think you have to attack the Silcoidus to get the effect, right? I don't think if you attack directly...
If it attacks directly, you can get the effect, definitely.
Even if you deal 0 damage?
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah. As long as you battled, you
Okay.
still get the effect. It's like, there's a Time Lord that has a similar ruling in a Draco matchup where it had to battle to do something.
Very, very, very good.
I'm sure the judges down there would know exactly what's going on.
Yep.
More than us, of course.
Yep. There's a multi-roll. There's just a lot of spells that he...
Just unfortunately, he just couldn't deal with the Secloidus this turn, so he's just going to have to
Foolish Burial multi-roll and another spell in hand.
engage the hand and then just hope Peter doesn't have another trap card for that multi-faker in hand, or is he going straight to Shizuku? He's going straight for Shizuku.
Yep. Doesn't waste time to Kagari.
Just getting another card out of the deck, which can't be engaged, but it will probably be potentially Widow Anchor, I believe.
I think he just wants to dig through his deck, get to that evenly matched as quick as he can.
Or another Prank Chops to be able
Yeah.
to out it that way. Because without Judgment and Strike now, there's no more outs for Peter to be able to stop the Prank Chops from dealing with the Secret Village. Also, Typhoon's another good draw.
Yeah, Peter looking really calm and composed there. He's got his arms folded. He's like, yeah, this game is going exactly the way I planned it out. Interesting he didn't use spoofing during the end phase.
He's activating spoofing now instead, because he...
Oh, he's just not even needing to shuffle. He's just summoning the multi-faker. And the multi-faker, I believe, will summon the Meluseek.
So be in defense mode.
Defense position.
Defense.
Yep.
He knows.
He knows. He knows.
He knows this deck.
This
So he's
is
going to probably make a Hextier here.
Definitely not his first rodeo.
Then he's going to get the Meluseek effect.
Get the
so
Marionetta.
he's probably getting a Marionetta here, so he can normal summon it underneath the Hextier. So very well versed with his own deck here. He knows exactly what he's doing. Fortunately for Lincoln, that Village of the Spellcasters is still there, and now there's a Hextier to negate a Typhoon, even if he draws it.
Protocol to negate Pankratops now as well. There's so many...
Everything's just going right for Peter right now, especially with that opening of the 2 Solemns and Metaverse.
Maybe Lincoln will get to a way where he can resolve like evenly matched, clear the board. There's still hope for Lincoln. Like when your back's against the wall this far into the tournament, you just keep playing. You look for that 1%, that 0.5%. Doesn't matter.
As we've always talked about in the last few rounds, and it's happened multiple times this weekend.
We've seen a lot of matches that go completely the opposite of what people have expected to happen. And he's linking away the Hextier.
Yeah, interesting. He's using Marionetta's effect to send Hextier to the graveyard to return his Meluseek to the field. So interesting line of play here. I'm curious to see where he's heading from here. Potentially adding the Konkari or a multi-faker for the protocol next turn, or he's actually adding the manifestation of
Hextier. He can just bring back the Hextier back. He can end the field with 2-3 Hextiers now.
Very strong for the Altergeist, showing exactly why this deck's made it this far and why. I think it's the most represented deck in the top card right now.
Oh, it
Out of
is
the top
now.
8, I think it's 3. I think it was ever since top 32, the most represented deck.
Yes, indeed. Setting cards. Is he trying to...
So he may not need to attack here.
I think he's going to... I don't know.
Nothing he has is stronger than the Shizuku, since there is a spell in the graveyard.
Peter's taking it slow while Lincoln just still has a hand of 5 spells.
Very interesting play there. He's activated Manifestation to summon a monster, chaining the spoofing
to
add Konkari to hand, so the Manifestation will still resolve to bring that Hextier back to the field.
Yep. And it won't be attached to it, so that if the Manifestation is removed, he won't lose the Hextier. He's got Konkari to be able to block an attack as well, so the Hayate won't be doing any damage anytime soon.
So being on 3250, definitely not a problem for Peter.
Yeah. 3250 is comfortable.
With Lincoln's hand of 5 spell cards, it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, you only need 1 life point to win the match, right?
It's true. Life points are a resource.
They are.
So he's gone for that Hiate play anyway, probably trying to force the Kinkeri out to the field so he can link away out of it. So he's gone for the attack. He's going to Kinkeri. So Hiate is now negated and cannot attack again. Lincoln will probably link it away now, so then Kinkeri's not negating anything.
He's going for the Shizuki. I think he's just going to keep drawing cards, trying to get to that evenly matched.
Definitely the correct play here. He's just trying to dig as much as he can.
Lincoln does not play Heavy Storm Duster.
No, he opted for Typhoon instead, I believe, and he's adding that after and just trying to get every possible card out of his deck, so he has the best chance to draw an out.
Yeah.
But the Secret Village of the Spellcaster is just proving exactly why. So his Protocol negating the Ray, as well as bouncing the Kinkeri back to hand.
I believe that this turn Peter will be able to assemble enough damage to be able to win the game.
So showing exactly how this Altergeist strategy works.
Yeah.
Look how well he knows the deck. As we keep saying, just being comfortable with the deck, knowing you get inside and out, playing it correctly.
And playing it
Imperial
fast as
Order
well.
off the top of the deck.
I think that is the nail in the
sew it up
coffin.
regardless.
But
putting the Kinkeri back just to make sure of it. He's going to do everything correctly. Lincoln looking very conceited, unfortunately.
Peter's leaving no room for error. He's just going at it. Look at Lincoln's face. He's shaking his head. He knows it's not good. Peter, he's cruising. He's flying.
So here comes the second Hextia. So that means one of them is sitting at 3,000, I believe.
3,000.
And the other one at 50. So that's 4,500 so far. He's just going to make sure he can put enough damage on the board. Although it, at this point probably doesn't matter because that Imperial Order draw means that even if he outs a Secret Village, he still has to deal with the Imperial Order.
There's that becomes 16 plus 31 is 47 plus 3,000. That's 7,700 damage.
So almost enough. And then he's activating Spoofing to activate Multivagar's effect to summon itself, and
just for good measure, he's just gonna clean this out. He's not gonna leave any room for any kind of mistake.
That's well over 8,000 damage on the board now. Very unfortunate for Lincoln.
It could have been a Swift Scarecrow or multiple Swift Scarecrow. So you just gotta
play it correctly. Like you said, the 1%. You got to always play until the end of the game. Lincoln obviously just making sure. That's why he's making him do it, and well played. So very well done by Peter Mitro there. Congratulations. He will move on to the top 4 for a shot, 2 shots at a prize card.
We are very proud of Lincoln Johnston. He's made it far.
Well done, Lincoln Johnston. Congratulations. Very well played. All the way to the top 8 once again. He's very, very seasoned doing this at a YCS. He's done it, I think, the 4 or 5 times now here.
Yeah. So is Peter. Peter's also done well. He topped the Spiral one, topped the Perform Power one, he topped the Shadow one.
There's all of them. The winner of the Shadow one as well.
The winner of the Shadow
one. That was the same day. I think in that same event, Lincoln actually finished in the top 4.
Yeah, so they know each other's skill level. They've identified that they're both really good, and yeah.
So very well done. Hopefully we can get an interview soon with Peter before we lead to the semi-finals. So yeah, we'll see you soon.
Until then, I guess what do we have in top 8? We still have potential another Altergeist. We got Bowden
playing. 2 other Altergeists, the 2 Jesse Cotton Thunder deck.
Yep.
And one of them is played by Bowden Temnick. We have another striker, which is Liam DeBono.
And one Burning Abyss.
And the one Burning Abyss that we featured earlier on in the day.
We have Honor still on Altergeist as well. That's crazy.
So Altergeist doing very, very well here. Be interesting to see how some of those other matchups lined up outside.
I think we could potentially have an Altergeist mirror in the final. We could
have a Thunder mirror in the final. Unfortunately, we can't have a Striker mirror anymore in the final.
Unfortunate.
But fortunate and unfortunate, I think, because how long those games go.
Yeah. It'll be good.
But yeah, so hopefully we'll be back soon with an interview.
Welcome back. We're back here with Peter again. That was a very impressive top 4 match. How do you feel about it? A top
Uh,
8 match, sorry.
Pretty good. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot went in my favor.
Did you expect to be going first game too, or was that?
Look, going first or second against Striker is not too important unless he mains Twin, but apparently he wasn't playing Twin Twister or he didn't see it. So the game went well, yeah.
Did you know that you were gonna go, or was it a surprise? What was your reaction like when you found out you were gonna go first game two with that hand?
I obviously knew he was going to put evenly in, so I like, it's something in my mind, but a lot of the times they let me start and then they don't have evenly.
Yeah, he actually main decked it evenly. He does not play heavy Storm Duster, so he was struggling to find the out. He had Typhoons. Did you actually side any cards for him?
No, the thing is, like, my deck has 10 copies of the village, so like the out to stuff like Typhoon is just having another village, so.
So 10 copies, you have like 3 Trap Trick, 3 Metaverse, 3 Village itself.
And Imperial Order.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's very good. And your next round is going to be either Sky Striker or the Thunder Dragon Ninja deck. Which one would you like to play against?
I would really hope to get the Sky Striker day because that deck's easy to beat.
What about your Thunder Dragon Danger matchup? Have you?
If I go first and open like 2 interrupts with Faker Village, probably gonna win that game. If I go second and they make the 3 board, I mean, the 3 board's okay, but with adding stuff like Snow, it makes the matchup much harder. So if they open just like 2 Colossus Titan, as long as I hard draw a Faker, I always win.
Do you think your sideboard's ready to combat that deck?
Well, I've got 12 side decks, 12 hand traps in the side, so the plan is when we do go second against that deck, side those 12 in and hope for the best.
You have 12 cards to side out. You figured this out. You've got.
Yeah, we side out the villagers, Metaverse, Trap Trick, because they're not like great going second because they're going to play their spells and then have a board, so I just take them out in the dusters too.
And then going into game 3, when you're going first, you just unside in, or?
Yeah, I answer. It depends. Like I leave the villagers in. I take out like Metaverses, Trap Tricks, dusters. I put in 1 or 2 or 3 white taps depending how I'm feeling, and 6 hand traps because they play around reboot evenly. So
Pretty good. Now you got 2 shots at winning that prize card. You're hungry for the win. We wish you the best of luck, and hope maybe we'll see you in the finals.
let's see.